My name is Jen Benito. I already had a beautiful family, three wonderful kids who filled my life with joy. But deep inside, there was still a quiet desire, a longing for another baby. The more I thought about it, the more I realized maybe the best way to fulfill that dream wasn't by having another biological child, but by becoming a foster parent. At first, my husband was hesitant. He had his fears, his doubts. Adoption felt like a huge unknown. But after a lot of prayer and many long conversations, we decided to take the leap. We began the certification process, step by step. Paperwork, classes, interviews, months of preparation. Finally, we were certified. Finally, we were ready to open our hearts and our home to another child. But then we waited and waited and waited some more. The phone never rang. We couldn't understand why. Each day the silence grew heavier and frustration began to creep in until one day the call came, the moment we had been desperately waiting for. But the news was not at all what we expected. A beautiful 3-month-old baby girl was in desperate need of a home, and yet no one wanted her. She didn't even have a name. Why? Because she had been diagnosed with Down syndrome. It was heartbreaking. My heart ached for this tiny, innocent child, abandoned simply because she was different. In that instant, I knew this baby needed love, and we had so much love to give. I picked up the phone and called my husband. Through tears, I told him about the little girl, and without even a pause, he said, "Yes." That was it. No hesitation. And in that moment, I knew we were both exactly where God wanted us to be. We didn't care about the diagnosis. We didn't care about the challenges. She needed a family, and we were ready. Before she arrived, I tried to prepare myself. I read everything I could about Down syndrome. I braced myself for the worst case scenario. But when I finally saw her, when I looked into her tiny face, all I could see was joy. She had the most beautiful almond-shaped eyes, the same deep shade of brown as my husband's. Her skin was soft and rosy, her light brown hair shining in the sunlight. I didn't see a diagnosis. I saw perfection. From the moment my husband held her in his arms, she was Daddy's girl. The bond was instant. We lovingly nicknamed her our little peanut. And oh, how she changed us. I never imagined I could love a child who wasn't biologically mine as much as I loved this little girl. But I did. It didn't matter that she didn't share our DNA. What mattered was that she shared our hearts. As weeks turned into months, we learned more. Peanut didn't just have Down syndrome. She was also diagnosed with autism. She's fully nonverbal. She doesn't mimic sounds or actions. She often feels trapped inside her own world, frustrated that she can't say what she wants to say. Yes, people asked us if we understood what we were taking on. Some pitied us. Some even whispered that we were crazy. But what they didn't see was the joy, the laughter in the small things, like the sparkle in her eyes when music played, or the way she wrapped her tiny arms around our necks. They didn't see the victories, how hard she worked to learn even the simplest task, and how much she celebrated when she achieved it. Every day with Peanut is a reminder that strength comes in many forms. She has faced challenges that most of us will never understand. Yet, she does it with determination and grace. She is not defined by her diagnoses. She is defined by her spirit. Would I change any of it? Not for the world. The worries, the sleepless nights, the challenges, none of them compare to the love she has given us. Because a mother's love is sacred. It transcends hardship. It transcends distance. It transcends diagnosis. All children are precious gifts, whether typical or different, whether healthy or challenged. They all deserve to be loved, cherished, and celebrated. And our Peanut? She may not speak with words, but she speaks with her life. With every smile, every glance, every stubborn little victory, she tells us a story of resilience and hope. She has taught us more about love than we ever thought possible. She has changed our home. She has changed our hearts. She has changed our very definition of what it means to be a family. Not a day goes by that I don't look at her and think, this is exactly where she was meant to be. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. One day, I hope Peanut will know, deep in her heart, that she was never unwanted, that from the very first moment, she was chosen, loved, cherished. I don't know what her future will hold. She may never speak in words. She may always face struggles that others don't. But I know this: her life has meaning, her story has power, and her presence in this world is a gift. I dream of a future where people see her not for her diagnosis, but for her light, where kindness, patience, and love surround her everywhere she goes, where she grows up knowing that she is valuable, not because of what she can or cannot do, but simply because she exists. To anyone listening to this story, I want to say, never underestimate the power of love. Never overlook a child because of labels or limitations. Sometimes, the very children the world forgets become the ones who teach us the most about life, courage, and unconditional love. Peanut has already taught me more than I could ever teach her. And if you open your heart, children like her will teach you too. So love deeply, listen fully, and treasure every child, because each one carries a story that can change us forever.